say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on a beautiful Thursday. It's November 6, 2025 here in New York City. It's me and you for two, the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. We're glad that you could be a part of it. We got a great guest list today. Dan Orlovsky will join us. Chris Simms will join us. And Alex Rodriguez will join us as well. So today's a day that free agency begins in Major League Baseball, where you could actually sign people. I don't think it's going to happen this quickly, but it's out there. If you do have an agreement in place, you can announce it now. A couple of baseball things that we'll start with. Number one is that Don Mattingly is leaving the Toronto Blue Jays. And now I had heard whispers during the season that this could be it for him. You know, Donnie has a 10-year-old son in his second marriage. He's 64. Wants to spend more time with his kid. And I had heard that he might hang it up. So when I saw the retirement announcement, I said, well, you know what? Well, what I heard might be true. But then John Heyman of the New York Post reporting that this is not a retirement, that he is open to other possibilities. There are still two managerial jobs that are open. I'm not sure that they would go the Mattingly route, but there were people that were close to Mattingly that came to me and said, is there any way that the Yankees would be interested? Because that's Donnie's first love. And I said, don't ask me. I have no insight on that at all. I have no idea if the Yankees would be interested. But in a perfect world, which this certainly is not, we find that out every day, Don Mattingly finishing with the Yankees would be the right ending to the story. But the Yankees have a bench coach. They have hitting coaches. They have assistant hitting coaches. I'm not sure where Mattingly would fit. Maybe it would be a role like Andy Pettitte, who's not quite a coach, but he's around the team a lot, and he does help in coaching the pitchers. Again, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But people close to Mattingly came up to me and other people and said, is there any way that the Yankees would be interested in him? It wasn't Mattingly. Swear to you it wasn't Mattingly. But, people that know him well, they think that that would be a perfect landing spot for him. And I said, don't ask me. I'm not part of the hiring process with the New York Yankees for sure. So we'll see where it ends up. Again, there are two managerial jobs remaining open. I'm not sure Donnie will get that. When you look at what the business has become, you're getting a lot of people that are getting jobs that are really young. Really young. Now, Walt Weiss, 61 years old, he got the Braves job, but he had been Brian Snitker's right-hand man for about 8 years. So maybe he was next in line. Again, not quite sure how it's going to go. If Mattingly would have an opportunity, why would he give up a good situation in Toronto where John Schneider, reveres Don Mattingly, reveres him. He grew up with the Mattingly Hitman poster where he's in the white pinstripe suit with the Tommy gun. He had that on his wall in his bedroom. And now he could turn toward Don Mattingly, during a game and ask him his opinion on what he should do. So Donnie left that situation. That was a good situation for him. And again, I thought that might have been for retirement purposes, but John Heyman reporting that it is not retirement. He is up for other opportunities. Now, one of the big stories yesterday is that the Mets watched as Jeremy Hefner, who they let go as the pitching coach, they watched him sign to be the pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves. Now, I guess if you're the Mets and you don't want the guy back, there's not much you could do about that. He needs the job. The fact that he takes a job within the division where now you can have some of the state secrets become public, that's a little bit concerning. But the thing that jumped out at me, and I wonder if it did to you as well, Anton Richardson. By the way, great trivia answer or question. You're at a cocktail party during Christmas, and somebody says, you got a good trivia question? Yeah, I do. Who was the guy who scored against the Orioles when Derek Jeter got his last hit at Yankee Stadium? And the answer is Anton Richardson. Nobody will know it. You'll be the hit of the party. The women will come over. They'll flock to you. They'll think, this is the guy I want to be with and spend the holidays with. He knew it was Anton Richardson. So mark that down for your big holiday party trivia question. Anyway, Anton Richardson was the first base coach for the Mets. He was also the base running coach. And under the tutelage of Anton Richardson, he added another tool to the toolbox of Juan Soto. He turned Juan Soto into a base-stealing machine. And if you look at the Mets and their success rate in stealing bases, this guy knew what he was doing. But here's where I'm confused. Wonder if you are as well. They wanted him back. And he wanted to come back. And he left because they didn't value him the same way as he valued himself. What is David Stearns doing? You wanted the guy back and you lost him because you wouldn't pay him what the Braves paid him? Now, the story that's come out now is that they had a disagreement of value. He investigated other jobs. Braves offered him this job. He went back to the Mets. Now, they've already hired some coaches, and they wanted him back. They couldn't give him the pension because you can only give a certain amount of coaches the pension rights, and they had already given that away. The Braves were giving him the pension rights. But why would you allow a guy that you wanted back, who obviously impacted your team in a positive way, for money? My advice to David Stearns would be this. Your owner is Steve Cohen. He has $20 billion in the bank. What you pay a coach does not fall under any salary cap or anything like that, or salary tax. Why would you ever lose a coach because of a difference in money? Now, you could say, well, if they pay him that, well, they'd have to give their coaches a... Really? We're worried about tens of thousands of dollars? Steve Cohen probably has tens of thousands of dollars in the ashtray of his car. David Stearns has to realize he's not in Milwaukee anymore. You don't lose a coach because of money. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So that's very, very confusing to me why that would have ever happened. Now, the Mets have bigger fish to fry, and one of them is going to be Pete Alonso. What do you do with Pete Alonso? So Pete Alonso opted out of the second year of his contract, which we knew that he would. He had a really good year for the Mets, but he wants a 6 or 7 year deal. He's going to turn 31 soon. And as much as I like Pete Alonso, and I know Met fans love him, if Scott Boras comes in and said, I want a 6 or 7, 6'7", my kids will love that I brought that up. And I'm doing the hand gesture too, 6'7". If he wants a 6 or 7 year deal, bye. Because at some point, Juan Soto is going to have to be your DH. And if you're going to bring in Pete Alonso, what does he have, 1-2 years left at first base? Then you're going to have to make him the DH for the last 5 years? No. Let somebody else give it to him. Thank you very much for your service. We love you. We love the fact that you broke the home run record here. I'm not going that route. I'm not. Now, if you can come to a 3 or 4 year deal where he gets 30 a year, 35, then I do it. But if he's insisting on 6'7", if he's insisting on that, then you got to cut bait right away. You can't let that stall your offseason. And the Yankees have a decision coming up too. Are they going to give Trent Grisham the qualifying offer, which is $22 million? And I told you yesterday, under no circumstances would I ever do that. None. I've heard the old adage, oh, there's no such thing as a bad one-year contract. Yes, there is. Paying a guy who has had a drastic drop-off in the internal analytics when it comes to defense, paying him $22 million is crazy. Crazy. I know he had 34 home runs. I understand that. The best year of his life. Was that the outlier? Or are you going to get into a situation the way you got into with Aaron Hicks, who you still have to pay for another year? And you can say, well, if you sign a one-year deal, you're not going to do it. Yeah. If you could go to Trent Grisham and go, we'll give you 3 years at $30 million. And he says, yes? Okay, sign me up. But 1 year at 22? No. I'd rather spend that money elsewhere. One other problem. If you sign Trent Grisham to the 1 year deal and you offer, because I think he would grab the qualifying offer, and I don't think the milk is worth the squeeze or the juice is worth the squeeze. It's just not. Because if he turns down the qualifying offer, right, then they get a draft pick. In the fourth round, please stop. You're gonna risk giving $22 million to a limited player for a fourth-round draft pick? I'm out. But if you offer him that, I think he's going to take it. So then he's locked in. And then you try to sign Bellinger or Tucker, whichever one the case may be. Well, then your outfield's pretty crowded, isn't it? Then Jason Dominguez has to go down to the minor leagues. Because why would you have a switch-hitting 23-year-old next year be a bench player? Because you know how many at-bats he had in the postseason this year? One. When he pinch hit for Volpe in the last game against the Blue Jays. He got a double. One. He would be a non-person. You would be slowing down whatever growth that he has. He'd either have to be traded or be sent to the minor leagues. And Spencer Jones would be out as well. That's why that $22 million offer, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So we start off with those baseball things that are in the air right now. And now we go to the Knicks. You could see what Mike Brown's trying to do. And you can see it starting to work a little bit. They're getting a lot of production out of their bench. They beat a really good Minnesota Timberwolves team. They have dominated their home court, unlike, their neighbors, the Rangers. And again, it's going to take a while. That's why I wasn't jumping on Mike Brown, what he's trying to do at the start. Because this is going to take a while to institute this. He's going to use the bench more. And by the way, nobody wants to hear this. The bench he has is so far superior to the bench that Tom Thibodeau had. Far superior. Better players. Better players. Tom Thibodeau didn't have Clarkson. He didn't have Yabusele. He didn't. So it's a different bench. And Mike Brown is utilizing it. And this team's a lot better when Josh Hart plays the way he did yesterday. And then you've got Mitchell Robinson on one of the days where he's not load managing for his left ankle, pulling down 9 offensive rebounds in about 15 minutes. The pieces are there for the Knicks. I think we saw that yesterday. They can be a championship-level team. And they're going to shoot a lot of threes. They've done the math on that. We talk about analytics. They've done the math. They're going to take more threes than almost any team. I think they're third right now. And there was one game that threw everything out of whack in terms of the production. Because there was one game that they were awful shooting threes. It was against Miami, and it brought all the numbers down. But if you take that out, they're getting a lot more production from three-point, and, that's the specialty of Cat. And OG Anunoby is a good three-point shooter. Mikal Bridges is a good three-point shooter. So, again, a work in progress. I think the Knicks are going to be a good team this year. Let's see how good they can be. And how about this? Congratulations to the Brooklyn Nets. They got to win. They found a team that's worse than them, the Indiana Pacers. So they get their first win of the year, and I'm excited about it. I hope you are as well. All right, now I want you to get excited. 1-800-919-3776. Now you know how to consume this show. I don't have to illuminate you on this. Here's how you consume it. ESPN New York app, wherever you are, you could be in Beijing. And you hit the ESPN New York app, you're listening to the show right now. And while you're on the app, all you have to do is click on the tile, the YouTube tile. Subscribe, free, quick, whatever, right? And boom, boom, you have yourself the visual of this fine show. I'm wearing a great sweater today, too. I think you want to look at it. And I've gotten rid of the beard, for those that are wondering. And Bart Scott was just berating me. You know how great it looked. Chris Carlin said, how great it looked. My wife said, how great it looked. And I said, I didn't like the man in the mirror. I was asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. And I did. I shaved. And I think I look at least my age. With the beard, I looked about 75. And that's pathetic because I don't feel 75. I don't think 75. My birth certificate doesn't say I'm 75. And I think that beard said 75, and I didn't want any more, despite the fact that my wife liked how it looked, despite the fact that Bart Carlin liked how it looked. I thought it was time for change of the man in the mirror. 1-800-919-3776. Go to Manny in Flushing. Manny, let's start it off.
Good afternoon, Mike. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you, Manny?
Good. Before I will start mentioning about the Knicks, I want to give my condolences to that Cowboy player that just died recently. I just want to give my condolences to him and his family. It's very tragic when I read about this, but nonetheless, great win for the Knicks. I like the ball movement. I mean, the defense a little bit improvement, but I like the fact that Mitchell Robinson, because once he plays with him and Cat with the pivot, nothing's stoppable. I want to ask you this, Mike. I mean, I know that now baseball season is over with. I'll go do the baseball part later. But what are your impressions of this NBA, this new version of the NBA on NBC, especially with the graphics?
Well, I like it. I think their production is great. Obviously, they have a top-flight announcer in Mike Tirico. Their pictures look great. I'm not a fan of the pre- and post-game show being on the court. I think that should change. I think the graphics are good. I love hearing Round Ball Rock. I'm partial, though. I think that Amazon's done a great job. I think NBC's done a great job. But I'm partial to Mike Breen because he's one of my best buddies in the world. He's a Hall of Famer. So I lean toward ESPN's production. Also, I'm a company guy. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. Let's go to Henry in South Carolina. Henry.
Michael, it's not like me to kiss butt, but one of the reasons why I would get that trivia question right about Antoine Richardson is because of your call of that particular play. So I'm just saying it might not be as difficult for some of us who spend way too much time on YouTube looking at old.
Well, you know what? Then you
highlights.
guys are going to be the guy. Henry, you're going to be the guy who's going to excel at the Christmas party. They're all going to they're going to be around you, and you're going to be telling these great little bon mots.
I do love a trivia. I do love Christmas parties, and my useless facts light up a room.
There you go. I could tell.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Michael, real quick, just to jump off of your free agency talk, I love Trent Grisham, but it does feel like it could be a 2017-18 Aaron Hicks situation. You took the words right out of my mouth. I would worry about thinking that the 34 home runs is a fluke because it felt like that the whole season long. I feel like they relied on him way more than they ever intended, and I would hope that Bellinger feels like way more of a dynamic player, even versus Kyle Tucker. Yankees Twitter and Yankees Internet really want Tucker, and they really want to make a run for Skubal, but I just think that moving forward, Bellinger feels like a Yankee to me. I don't know about you.
Well, I think he feels like he's a Yankee too, but when you have Scott Boras as your agent, Henry, you're going to take the highest offer. So I'm sure that Scott Boras is going to try to get him a 5-year deal. I'm not sure the Yankees would go to 5 years for Bellinger. We'll have to see. It's going to have to be a price point that they both agree on.
I would be concerned about that too. Also, I don't know if you're as tuned in on Yankee content as I might be. Again, useless facts. But I recently saw the newest Aaron Boone interview with John Boy and Jake.
Right.
And to make a long story short, he basically the quote was that he feels that the Yankees might be one of the least analytical teams, which indicates to me that a lot of the decisions are coming, from the heart and not from the front office game, day to day. And I'm wondering how you could react to that, if you think that might not be true. Is it contrary? I don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, to put me in an awkward spot, Henry, with all due respect to Aaron Boone, if they're one of the least analytical teams in all of baseball, why do they have all those analysts hired? Why? Why do they have such a big analytic group? Why? I don't believe that. If they're one of the least analytic teams, I'd like to see the most analytic team. And I'm not saying they're the most analytic team, but they are heavily analytic. For him to say that they're the least analytic, show me how. Since we're talking about analytics, I need numbers. I need I don't need anecdotal evidence. I need real evidence. Why are all those people around? Why are they bringing down and comparing lineups that are put together by all the numbers and stuff like that? Why do you know about lanes and stuff like that? Again, I love Aaron Boone. And you guys know how I love baseball. But baseball seems to be fighting the fact that they are heavily analytic. That's all there is to it. We have Buster Only on, and he was talking about the young guy that was hired. Which team hired the really, really young guy, the 33-year-old? No, the Giants hired Vitello, so he's a college guy. But, it's driving me nuts. Anyway, when you are a 33-year-old, he has no experience to be making by-the-gut decisions. None. It's all collaborative. That's what it is. It's collaborative. Why can't I remember this? The Nationals. That's it. The Nationals. Well, you're not hiring a 33-year-old guy unless it's a heavily analytic team. And I think there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Why are we fighting the fact that it's collaborative? I'm not saying that Aaron Boone doesn't make some decisions by his gut. I'm not saying that Dave Roberts doesn't make some decisions by his gut. We saw him do that in the World Series. But all of their decisions are influenced by the numbers that come down from up top. I'm not saying that there's a big Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that tells them what to do. But to say we're one of the least analytic teams in all of baseball, I would love Aaron Boone to come on here and give me real evidence that you're one of the least analytic teams in baseball. When you bring in guys because of lanes. How did those lanes get established? Because of numbers. Because this is how he matches up against this player. That's analytics. There's nothing to be ashamed about to say that you're analytically driven. I don't get it. Hey, maybe I'm completely in the dark. But all I know is there are a lot of analytic people around the Yankees. A lot. Why are they there? Why are they there? Why are they with iPads videotaping or taping every swing during batting practice? Because you're analyzing swings. Again, nothing wrong with that. That's analytics. I need proof to tell me that you're one of the least analytic teams in all of baseball. I'm stunned by that. I did not see Aaron's interview other than the fact that they said that he looked like one of the Blue Jays. That he looked like, was it Addison Barger or was it Clement? Yeah, Ernie Clement. That's the part that I saw. I did not see the whole interview. So now I'm gonna have to listen to hear exactly how he says that they're one of the least analytic teams in all of baseball. Troy in New Jersey. Troy.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. K?
I'm good,
I'm
Troy.
not sure. Cool. I'm not sure who said the Yankees aren't analytic. That's preposterous. Like, they sat Jazz and, who was it in the playoffs? The first game for Boston, Jazz and
Rice.
Yeah, exactly. That was 100% because of analytics. But anyways, I just wanted to ask, how high do you think they're putting Bellinger? Like, how high do you think they're wanted to re-sign him? And do they have to wait until basically the start of the next season for any Boris clients to be signed? I feel like that just puts such a hold up on what they want to do.
Being a Boris client is a little bit of an impediment, Troy, because he does want to milk the market. And, he probably wants to see Kyle Tucker come off the board first to set the outfield template. And then once Kyle Tucker's off, then Cody Bellinger's probably the next most important and more valuable outfielder. So, listen, if I was dealing with it and I really want Bellinger, I would go to Scott and go, here's the offer. We can't wait. And you got to tell us whether he's interested or not. And then we'll move on. And Scott would say, then move on. It's really difficult when you're dealing with a Boris client. It really is. Now, I give Scott credit because last year he did not wait that long with Soto. Soto signed right at the beginning of the winter meetings, and that opened up the floodgates for all the other talent to get their deals because the template was set. But, that's the complicated part of the Bellinger situation. It's a Boris client, and he's going to want to get the market established by Tucker. Now, if the Yankees then establish the market by signing Tucker, then Bellinger is not going to be an option. They're not going to sign both. And I'm not sure. I think the Yankees really want Bellinger. I think he's high on their list of desire. But would that mean that they're out on Tucker? No, I don't think they're out on Tucker. Bellinger's a better outfielder. Tucker's going to have to play left field because I wouldn't be moving Judge around. Tucker, overall, a better hitter. And I think he would hit a lot more home runs at Yankee Stadium. And Bellinger hits a lot more home runs at Yankee Stadium. If you look at the amount of home runs he hit at Yankee Stadium and the ones on the road, it shows that he plays into Yankee Stadium. And I think Tucker would as well. 1-800-919-3776. Let's see. Ray just texted me the Boone quote. He said, I think if you look in the American League East, the way I run a game, I'm not even saying it's good or bad, but we're probably the least analytical in-game team there is. And I'm positive of that. Let's see. I think the Blue Jays, I believe that the Rays are heavily analytical. I believe that the Red Sox have an analytic bent, but I think that Alex Cora manages the way he wants. I think that John Schneider, there's an analytic bent there. He manages the way he wants. The Orioles are definitely an analytic team. Now, I can't say who does it more or who does it less, but you can't tell me that some of the decisions you make or most of the decisions you make are not influenced by numbers that are handed down from up high. Why the caller brought up, why'd you sit down Jazz Chisholm? Game 1 against the Red Sox against Crochet. Why? How about Rice? He almost lost Chisholm because he was pouting. Why? Again, I'm not going to call the guy a liar. That's what he feels. He feels that he's a wheeler and a dealer and that he does things from the gut. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. That's the most frustrating. Don used to always say that. That's the most frustrating thing about baseball right now. We don't know who's calling the shots. And they're all trying to obfuscate. Those that have the front office calling the shots, they don't want it known. And the managers don't want it known because it makes them look like puppets. So we don't know. I can't sit here and call them a liar. But I think they're a heavily analytic team. Heavily analytic. Why do you think they love Joey Gallo so much? They loved all those strikeouts? No, because he fit into everything that they love. That was an analytic acquisition. Come on. I will come back. Dan Orlovsky will join us. We have Chris Simms at 2. We have Alex Rodriguez at 2:30. It's the K Show. We are rolling till 3. At that time, Don Hahn and Rosenberg right here on ESPN New York.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
The Association on Aging in New York is celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Older Americans Act, which funds vital programs for millions of older adults. Services include meals, transportation, home care, Medicare counseling, case management, and caregiver support. Today, people are uncertain whether some programs remain available. We can help. To learn more about these essential programs and how to keep them, visit our website at agingny.org. Sponsored by the Association on Aging in New York.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Veterans Day is a time for all of us to reflect on the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of those who've served our nation. It's a reminder of the values that unite us: honor, service, and commitment. Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates veterans of all branches today and every day. Their legacy is built on commitment and understanding, proudly serving the military community for over 90 years. They serve more than 2 million veterans, and many of their employees are veterans, military family members, and reservists themselves. That means they truly understand what service and support look like. This November, Navy Federal is partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities that strengthen communities across the country. If you want to be part of a financial institution that honors, supports, and stands beside veterans and their families, join today at NavyFederal.org/veterans. To all who've served, thank you, and happy Veterans Day. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Well, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Devils host the Canadians at the Prudential Center with Don LaGreca on the call. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. We love this this time of the week. At 1:30 on Thursday, we get a chance to talk to our good buddy, Dan Orlovsky, and he joins us now on the show. Dan, how are you doing? How's life?
I'm doing fantastic. Life is amazing. How are you, bud?
Same thing. Thanks for coming on. Your thoughts, we didn't talk to you the day it happened, your thoughts on what the Jets did, trading two of their best defensive players for what I call air. It's draft picks. They have to make those draft picks click to make them matter. What are your thoughts on that, on their deal?
Yeah, hopefully you can get really good young talented players, and maybe one of them will become a defensive player of the year as a rookie.
Yes.
I can understand it. And it always sounds great in that league to have picks, no question. I think it tells me that they are in the long game with Muji and Aaron Glenn, which I can understand and appreciate. You're not trading away those players unless you firmly feel convicted that those are your leaders, general manager and head coach wise, long haul. Number two, the Jets do not factor into, really relevant conversations until 2027, just because of the roster rebuild that is going to be needed. It puts all pressure on Muji to hit on picks. I don't care how many picks you have. They don't matter unless you have a really good front office. I believe that remains to be seen with this regime. And then lastly, I would say this. None of it matters until they get a quarterback. I remember 4 years ago, they had all these picks and they drafted really good players, and here they are. So until those picks, or unless those picks equate into a really good quarterback, they don't matter, and it doesn't matter.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about Gardner, because I'm intrigued by him. Indianapolis saw so much in him that they gave up 2 first-round draft picks. He's considered one of the better corners. But then, Dan, we know that he doesn't intercept balls. He doesn't love contact that much. So when you're watching film, are you seeing a great cornerback that's worth those 2 first-rounders?
From an offensive perspective, I would say no. I would tell you, if I was watching tape on Sauce and game planning, I would sit there and say, really good at the line of scrimmage. He likes to get his hands on you. 1, don't fear throwing the ball his way because he doesn't take the ball away. 2, don't fear throwing the ball his way because he's top 3 in the NFL, I think, or top 5 in the NFL in defensive pass interference and holding. And so there's not a ton of risk when you push the ball his way, and there's oftentimes what feels to be decent reward. Now, Sauce is a good player now. I mean, Sauce can cover. In Indy, will they play him a little bit more off the line of scrimmage to play with vision? Will they allow him to play with on the line of scrimmage? But when I think of like corners you're scared to throw against as a quarterback, it was, I don't want to put the ball around him because I'm the fear of him taking the ball away. This is Richard Sherman. This is Nandi Asamoah. This is Darrelle Revis. Sauce is really good, but 2 first-round picks are steep for a guy that just doesn't give your offense the ball.
And it seemed like the Jets got more for Gardner than the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons, because not only did they get 2 first-round draft picks that are probably going to be better than the Packers, maybe, we'll see, because the culture having a good year, and they got a wide receiver. That none of it fits for me.
Yeah, AD is very talented.
Yeah.
AD, he hasn't been perfect, but he is a physically very talented young man. And so, again, I don't, from a Jets perspective, I don't think you obviously like the value that you got out of that player. Again, I would just reiterate, you now have to hit on getting really good players. Those 2 players traded away are really good players. And so everyone knows that you hope that you draft really good young players. I'd always rather prefer to have the bird in one hand or bird in the hand. And they had that, but we all know this. Like, we all know this is about quarterback. Like this, we all know that this gives them the ammunition to either draft a quarterback next year or package all those picks to see if you can lure another quarterback away from an established organization.
Now, speaking of quarterbacks, with Indianapolis giving up those 2 first-round draft picks, the thought process is, you know what? They're locked in for Daniel Jones. They think he's their quarterback. Do you believe is that right-headed to be that way?
Yeah, because you look at the way that Daniel's performed over the course of this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. He's just played too good. And I know last week wasn't his best week, and I was talking about it on First Take this morning. Like, there is a reality. I can't unsee what Daniel has been throughout his career. But I have to also give him credit that he's a different player this year. Yeah, I mean, Indy's obviously all in. They have publicly declared leverage doesn't even matter to them because they don't have leverage anymore either when it comes to Daniel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a new contract is signed by Daniel Jones before the season's over. I mean, if I was Indy, I would want to get that done. And I don't have any problems. This is an offense that wants a point guard. They've been desperate for a quarterback for what feels like 5 or 6 years now, and so it's hard to dispute the style or the way that Daniel's played this year.
All right, now you look at the Cowboys who made the deal for Quinnen Williams, and I'm wondering, Dan, we're talking with Dan Orlovsky here on the Michael K. Show, are they throwing good money after bad? Are they a Quinnen Williams away from being a playoff team?
Of course not. They're still not a playoff team. And here's the reality, too, Michael. Like, this team right now, as I sit here today, is projected to be $78 million over the salary cap now that Quinnen's been adding, because I think Quinnen's salary is $22 million next year against the cap. So I sit there and I go, you got a nice player, really good player. You're no question going to be improved. You're still not a playoff team this year. Well, Dan, the trades for the future. Okay, you're $7-8 million over the cap. And guess what? The person who's played the second best football on your team this year is not under contract next year, and his name is George Pickens. And if George Pickens continues to play the way that he is, you're not going to be able to re-sign him. That means you took a third-round pick and you sent it to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you got a one-year rental and a non-playoff team. Does that make business sense? No. And so can they go through financial gymnastics and restructure all these contracts and maybe cut some veterans? Sure. But you're still in a situation where money is just in a very tight spot for you. And so I still don't think they're a playoff team this year, but I do think it makes their team at least, I guess, better, but there's also things that could make them worse because of the financial limitations.
And Dan, what we were hearing here in New York is that Quinnen Williams wants to redo his contract too. He thinks he's outperformed it. So that's another fly in the ointment in this deal. They're going to have to redo his contract at some point.
Question. Yeah. I mean, I had heard that as well. So you usually do not agree to trades like this or okay with trades like this, certainly player and agent, unless you know that there's something else coming down the road. And so, the Cowboys are they are in a very difficult financial situation.
All right, Darren Muji said when he was discussing the deals, we're still trying to win. And I think, he's peeing on our head and telling us it's raining. Obviously, they can't win without two of their best players. If you're a player in that room, Dan, how are you feeling to see two of your brothers, two of the most important players on the team, get traded? How do you make yourself go out there and play hard against the Browns this Sunday?
Yeah, because there's 53 jobs.
Yeah.
You're not happy about it. You're not, but there's 53 jobs. And there's also a message from the organization, quote unquote, no one's safe. And so it's very clear that they are trying to reestablish what has been, a really disparaging 10 years or so for the Jets. And so every player knows that's your job. There's not a ton of them. You're not only playing for the Jets, but you're playing for opportunity elsewhere. Everyone is playing for money, and so you can not like it and you could sit there and go, we're not even trying to win. And there might be two guys that are financially, stable enough. I mean, how many guys in that team are really playing on a second contract that they're financially stable enough? Justin Fields got paid. Garrett Wilson got paid. For the most part, everybody else is looking for a payday or in need of a payday. And so there's going to be plenty of motivation for them to go play high-level football.
I do worry about one thing, though. These draft picks, which, we both agree on, they got to nail them, but I'm not sure that I have the utmost faith in the law firm of Glenn and Muji. I mean, they decided Justin Fields was their guy. He hasn't been their guy. They paid Sauce Gardner all that money saying it was a foundational piece. 8 games in, all of a sudden he's gone. Do we know if they have the evaluation skills to make those picks click? I don't get it. I'm not confident, Dan.
Yeah, that's a TBD. I think it's still rich and early to sit there and say there's no question about it. I mean, the devil's advocate, I would say, Michael, is like, man, Joe Douglas breached that draft where they took those 4 young men in the first 35 picks.
Right.
They were pillars. And here Joe Douglas works for the Eagles. And so I think it's too early to say whether on the table, yes, we believe in them or not. But we all know that reality of you are either going to pay this off and this will be a pivotal moment. This will be the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade, or it won't be. But I don't know if we have enough of body of work to sit there and say, yep, either way.
Dan, I know you're really, really busy every day. Thank you for giving us this time on Thursday all the time. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bud.
All right, be good. That's Dan Orlovsky. Great stuff from him. We'll take your phone calls when we get back. 1-800-919-3776. Time for the co-host. 2 o'clock, Chris Simms will join us. And then 2:30, we get a chance to talk to Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod's documentary, Alex versus A-Rod, debuts tonight on HBO Max. We'll talk to him about that and about the World Series that he was a part of with the Fox pre- and post-game show. All of that coming up on The K Show right here on ESPN New York.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Shorter days don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out and check in with those you care about and to remind ourselves that we're not alone. As seasons change and days grow darker sooner, it can be a tough time for many. This November, BetterHelp's encouraging everyone to reach out, check in on friends, reconnect with loved ones, and remind the people in your life that you're there. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. Short questionnaire helps you identify your needs and preferences, and our 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means we typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from our tailored recommendations. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250 and say the keyword timeout. That's keyword timeout after calling pound 250.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bath Fitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Plus, a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments, or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Rich Eisen here for Sonos, the speakers that bring every game to life in my own house. With studio quality sound, Sonos makes you feel like you're right there in the stadium. Whether you're cheering on your team, binging your favorite show, or listening to the hottest songs, Sonos fills every room with incredible sound. Setup is easy. Just plug in, open the Sonos app, and you're ready to go. Want stadium quality sound at home just like me? Because I love Sonos. You will too. Explore soundbars, speakers, and more at Sonos.com. Sonos. They look as good as they sound.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Hey, ESPN New York is giving you the chance to experience UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden on November 15th. One grand prize winner and a guest will score tickets to the ESPN New York Suite, hosted by Peter Rosenberg. Enjoy the energy of the Garden, the comfort of a private suite, and world-class UFC action alongside one of New York's biggest, and I mean biggest, sports personalities. That's Peter. To enter, find the contest tile on the ESPN New York app. To submit your entry, it's brought to you by Bud Light, proud to be the official beer sponsor of UFC. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Now, the Knicks won yesterday, and we had been hearing throughout the offseason that Mitchell Robinson was working on his free throw shooting, and it was much improved. And I don't know if you watched the game yesterday. It was hideous. It's not improved. I don't know if the guy can shoot free throws. There are certain people that are just not good free throw shooters. Shaq wasn't a good free throw shooter. That's all there is to it. Some can be helped. I'm not sure that Mitchell Robinson can be helped. The first free throw he took, he short-armed it. It clanked off the front of the rim. And, Alan Hahn was doing the analysis on MSG, and he said, well, at least it was on target. I mean, talk about Pyrrhic victories. He's not a good free throw shooter. And when I sit back and I look at Mitchell Robinson, I realize what he means when he's on the court. He completely disrupts an offense. He's that good. And for him to grab 9 offensive rebounds in 15 minutes of play, unbelievable. He had more offensive rebounds, one man, in 15 minutes than the entire Timberwolves team, the whole game. But when his contract is up at the end of this year, as good as he is when he's on the court, I don't know if I could bring him back. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I would. First of all, he's going to want a lot of money because he's a difference maker, but he can't stay on the court. He can't. And when he's on the court, the defense disrupts the offense, but the offense is then 4-on-5, the Knicks offense. He's not an offensive player. And he's easily fouled, and that puts the Knicks at a disadvantage. So I say take advantage of him this year. Play him when you have to play him because he does make a difference. But in terms of re-signing him, I'm not doing it. Not with that questionable right ankle. He missed the first 4 games of the season for load management. He can't play back-to-backs. He can't play the second game of a back-to-back or the first game. He's only going to play one. So there's a team usually has, 14, 15 back-to-backs? That's 15 games right there he's not going to play. And on top of it, he missed the first 4 games. I don't want to pay, in a salary cap sport, that much money to a guy who's essentially a 45-game player. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I wonder what Spike would say. Spike, the question goes, are you bringing back Mitchell Robinson next year when he becomes a free agent?
Unequivocally, and I'll tell you why. Mitchell Robinson he's a very interesting player. He's the longest tenured Knick, by the way. He put in the work, and he used to go down, and you never knew if he was going to play. Every time he fell, you held your breath. But what he did last night, that was the most enjoyable second half I've watched. If the Knicks play anywhere near, they scored 83 points in the second half. They're not going to make a lot of stops, but this is the best roster they've had in 50 years. And I'll tell you why I'll bring back Mitchell Robinson. And I'll tell you, obviously, his problem is he's a 46-minute player. Because in the last 2 minutes of the game, they'll foul him unless you're up 4 or 5 possessions. We've been down that road.
But he can't. But one thing, Spike, he can't play 46 minutes.
No. I'm saying he can only play up to the 46-minute mark.
Gotcha. And he's probably going to only play 18 of those 46 minutes.
I don't care. He changes the whole dynamic of the game. What he did last night on 2 consecutive plays, very few can do. He's the best offensive rebounder, or one of the best in the league.
Yep.
He changes the dynamic of shot blocking. We know he's probably the worst free throw shooter, even though if you go back and look up Chris Dudley, who went to Yale and was a pretty good player, shot free throws at 19% one year. The game has changed. But I see what Mike Brown is doing. The players are playing fewer minutes. They've won at home. They're protecting the home court. It was so enjoyable. They're going to have to outscore the opposition. So you have to manage Mitchell Robinson. And Popovich started this whole thing, and I understand he had the older players. But Mitchell Robinson brings 2 things to the team that no one else can do. And you can see it. And by the way, OG Anunoby in the first 8 games, 7 of them he's played all NBA first team.
Absolutely.
He has been brilliant And I noticed with Towns is better playing the 4 or the power forward because I'm old. His shots, he flicks it up there. He shoots beautifully. And when he goes to the rim and drops his shoulder, he's like a freight train coming, so no one's going to get in front of him. And I think the team is very well settled. I think the bench is much better. I'm not a Jordan Clarkson fan, but I'll accept the fact that he's contributed a little bit. He's never passed the ball after he gets it. But Mike Brown, in the first year or two of his tenures, in the 2 tenures he was coach of the year, was let go the second and third year, I believe, of both tenures. I may be off by a year. The team's very exciting. And Mitchell Robinson, when he comes on that court, and I told you last week when you gave me the first call of the year and you said some kind things about me, which I appreciate, I told you Josh Hart's, when he's unleashed, he's going to come out like a bat out of hell. And what he did last night, too, leave him open. He's been taking 500 three-point shots a day, practice, I'm hearing. So they left him open. What did he make, 4 out of 6 last night?
Yep.
So I think, and another thing, Michael, and thanks for the time. I love listening to you. I love this 2-hour format, too. The East is depleted. Look at the top 3 players in minutes played in the East are all on the Sixers. The Edgecombe, the rookie who started off well, Tyrese Maxey, and our old friend, I forget his name, the other guard who we wanted to get.
Paul George?
Embiid didn't. No, George is still out. The other guard, I just forget his name. You know who he is. He's all tatted up like J.R. Smith. The East, Milwaukee, here's what I see in the East. I see Cleveland and the Knicks and Milwaukee. And Orlando is the worst team in the NBA at making three-point shots with a front line that I told you live on air. You can listen to the tape. I think they may have the 2 starting forwards in the Eastern team all-star.
Well,
they just can't.
But we would agree, Spike. Everything is open up for the Knicks. It is. That's why it was a gamble to get rid of the coach that took them to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference. Let's see if Mike Brown makes them better. But you're right. The East is wide open. And Cleveland played a lot of games last year, and they put the pedal to the metal during the season, so they look like they're a little tired as well. They've had some injuries coming out of the gate. But I think it's going to be the Knicks and Cleveland. Those are the 2 teams. And Milwaukee might be better than we thought. They might be better than we thought. My whole idea with Mitchell Robinson, you're going to have to pay him. Are you going to pay a guy who's so fragile, so injury-prone, that ankle's still an issue? As much as he brings to the party, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I could commit funds to a guy that's not going to be on the court that much. And when he's on the court, boy, is he a difference maker. But he's limited, too. He's limited. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number to join in. When we come back, we'll have Chris Simms on. And following Chris, we'll have A-Rod on as well. The K-Show, we roll till 3 right here on ESPN New York.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. They are SUNY's leading online university. Flexible, affordable, and built for real life. With more than 120 degree programs, you can study what matters most to you. And students agree. They're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. Whether you are finishing what you started or starting fresh, your goals are within reach. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term begins.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right,
please?
hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bath Fitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in 1 day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement, plus a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Listen up,
at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recover from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Welcome back to the K-Show 202 here in New York City. Going till 3, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg at that time. 2:30, we're going to talk to Alex Rodriguez right now. It's a Thursday at 2 o'clock. We get a chance to talk to NBC's very own Chris Simms, and he joins us now on the show. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I'm glad I get to warm up the audience for A-Rod. That's a special guy there. I want to do that. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, and actually, I do have a little history with A-Rod.
Tell me.
When he was down in Tampa, right? I was the quarterback of Tampa. Not he was down in Tampa, but down with the Yankees in Tampa for spring training. And at the end of my, I lost my spleen, and now I'm not going to be on the Buccaneers anymore and go to the Tennessee Titans. He rented out our townhome that we had while he was in spring training one year. So, yeah, and he lived in a townhome in the years before that where he rented out very close to me. So I used to see him a lot, and, of course, was always a big fan of his on the field.
So the check didn't bounce, though, when he rented out the place, right?
No, the check definitely didn't bounce. That's right. It was one of those where I was like, damn, we probably should have charged more. He probably wouldn't even said anything.
That's right. I think he's okay money-wise.
I think so.
What are your thoughts on the Jets' moves?
Well, there's a lot here. First off, I like them. I do agree with what Muji says and the fact that they were too good to turn down, and I would agree with that. Now, yeah, we all know you got to make those picks work. And that's going to be the big thing that solidifies all this. But I think there's two things that jump out to me, and I think you've heard me say this a little bit. I don't really think they have the personnel there that they want that fits the style of football they want to play. Aaron Glenn's a little bit from that Bill Parcells school of coaching. They like big people. And so they like big people. Quinnen Williams is not known to be a space eater. I take on double teams. I'm the run-stopping guy, right? He's really good. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at what Aaron Glenn had in Detroit, every D tackle's 340, 345, 360, right? It's that kind of guy. So I think between that and the offer, they went, we'll take that offer. Quinnen Williams is really good, but I think probably on the downslope of the prime of his career. And then they want to play man-to-man in the secondary. That's what he did in Detroit. And he wants all-around corners, too, that can tackle and be involved in that. Sauce Gardner is not the greatest at man-to-man, as we know. He was perfect for the previous scheme and the Seattle scheme where it was kind of a zone with some man principles. He didn't have to cover a guy all over the football field. And that's not what I think, they want in a corner here in New York with the Jets. So I think between that, too, and then the offer they got from the Colts, I don't blame them, and I kind of like it, and I'm excited for what they can do with it.
All right, so here's where I would push back on that. So I hear everything that you're saying, but they gave Sauce Gardner a big money extension at $30 million a year. They didn't know what they had until they saw him play themselves? Now I know
I hear you there.
It was structured that they could trade him and not take a big cap hit. I give them credit for that. But you did commit to him and say he was a foundational piece. So did he expose himself?
I think a little bit. I think that's exact. I think they made it when, hey, wait, he's one of the better players on our team, right? If he can do what we want him to do and play better in man-to-man, okay, perfect. We got something here. I think they also realized, he's an asset in itself. Like you said, they planned within the contract itself to, if they trade him, they'll be okay. But I think it was one of those where they went, wait, we know he's really good, so let's lock him up, and then let's just evaluate to see and make sure that he really fits with us here. And again, I think if the Colts offer something that doesn't, when you, 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder and a receiver that's pretty damn good that just can't get on the field there in Indianapolis because they have good receivers and they don't need them necessarily, I think all of those things just all kind of, the stars aligned where they said, okay, let's make the move. I hear what you're saying.
What you said about Sauce kind of echoes what Dan Orlovsky said in our first hour. So he's not all that. But my question then would be, then why'd the Colts give all that capital up for him? What'd they say?
I hear you. So I think there's now the Colts, and you look up Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator in Indianapolis, he lives in zone.
Right.
So that's where I think he looks at it and goes, ooh, I like this better. And so within the zones, too, like, hey, we want you to play zone coverage, but, you don't have to follow the guy if he makes an inside breaking move, right? Stuff like that. So now, okay, Sauce Gardner will go, okay, I'm going to cut off the inside and not even let him go in there and block him off. But if he does get inside, I don't have to follow him. Somebody will be there, and okay, I'm perfect because I'm tall, I'm long, I'm not always the best at redirecting my hips and getting all my long legs and long arms going in the right direction, which is why you've seen a lot of pass interference calls from Sauce Gardner over the last year because he's been asked to play more man. So I think within that, and then there are certain man matchups that you're going to like him in. You don't want him against the great route runner that's really quick, get off the ball, and do that type of stuff. But let's say you're the Colts and you got to play the Steelers in the first round, and it's DK Metcalf. That's one guy that he messes or matches up well with man-to-man, right? It's not the intricate, real jitterbug type of route runner or a Cortland Sutton who's a bigger guy with the Denver Broncos. And so he can do that a little bit as well where you go, okay, I trust him in man-to-man situations against those guys, and now we can blitz and do other things and be creative with the rest of the guys on my team off of that. So I think he gives them some flexibility, and obviously Lou Anarumo had a liking for Sauce Gardner's skill set.
Chris, it's so interesting what coaches tell us because they don't always tell us the truth, and I don't blame them. But all these years that Saleh was here, and we used to bug Saleh. He used to be on the show every week. Well, why don't you have him like shadow the top wide receiver? Well, that's not the defense we played. And he's essentially telling us he can't cover that guy without ever having said it. So what you're saying kind of backs that up.
Exactly right. I always Sauce Gardner, a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, but do I think he was a little overrated there early part of his career? Absolutely, yes. Was it Darrelle Revis or Deion Sanders or Champ Bailey in his prime? Absolutely not, because you could tell those guys, hey, you go get that guy and just you got him, and then we'll figure out everything else. And there is great value in that type of player. He can do that to a degree, but it's got to be the certain matchup, like I explained.
All right, so what we're seeing with the Jets, Fields doesn't seem like he's their future. They've got 2 first-round draft picks in 26, 3 in 27. Here's what I don't get. They're not going to make the playoffs for the 15th straight year. I can't see them making the playoffs next year. I mean, how much do you expect the fan base to take? I mean, did Woody Johnson think it was going to be a real 5-year plan with these guys when he hired them?
Well, I get you, but we are in an era where we see teams turn it around pretty quickly, right?
But with a quarterback.
But yes, but with a quarterback, and that's going to be the thing that they got to work on. Certainly, that's going to be the one big bright spot here. We go, what are they going to do? Now they got flexibility with all these picks to kind of make any move they want now at the quarterback position. But yes, we all certainly look at it and go, yeah, I think we need to upgrade from Justin Fields no matter what. Even if they don't draft a quarterback in this next year's draft, there's got to be something better there. But I do think in the era we're in right now, draft picks, your owner's willing to spend a little bit money, which I think Woody Johnson is doing or willing to do. You can see teams flip it around. Now, do I think they're going to flip it around and be in the playoffs next year? No. But if they can flip it around and we go, oh, okay, well, they ended up the year, 8-9 or 7-10, and we saw them stay competitive in some big games. And, now we got more first-round picks and money to play with and do that. That's where I think the hope is. But, yes, this is going to be a little bit of a process here, and you would think, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to start getting results that Jet fans want.
All right, so let's shift over to the other side of MetLife Stadium. I was at the game on Sunday, and they looked awful. They really did, yeah. Chris. They couldn't stop the run, and that's not a great running team. McCaffrey's a great player, but I think they're in the 20s in terms of running. And also, I look at it, I don't know if you see it the same way, there's nothing around Jackson Dart. He's going to get hurt.
Right. I that's what I worry about. I mean, that's why I'll pick the Bears this weekend. I pick the Bears with the logic of like, hey, Jackson Dart will make a few plays, but it's just Jackson Dart making plays. Where the Bears, as you see, Ben Johnson's a genius. They've got a top 5 offense in football. They do have weapons. Their offense isn't as talented as Detroit was, but their offense is performing at a better level than Detroit's is right now. And that's because he's special there. But, yeah, that's what I worry about. I mean, you worry about, like you started the conversation off there, the Giants' defense. I mean, holy crap. I mean, Mac Jones didn't throw an incompletion to the first throw of the third quarter.
Yep.
The 49ers have stunk running the ball. Their interior O-line has been below average this whole year. So for them to do that and then, now we got the Bears who have great balance. They can really run the ball and the playmakers. And then Jackson Dart, who has no brake pad yet, because it's just he plays every play like there's 2 minutes left in the Super Bowl, and which I love and respect, but I just want to go, please protect yourself for the betterment of yourself and the team, and that's what I worry about, and that's where, I'm going to take the Bears this weekend in that one.
Then I also wonder, because of the things you said, I mean, Slayton drops a ball right in his hands, perfectly thrown. Johnson drops a ball as well, so he doesn't have weapons. Why didn't the Giants go out and get some kind of weapon to just take some of the heat off this guy?
I get it, but I think they're at a point where, you're 2-6, you're 2-7, and let's just keep the big picture in our mind here now, to where we're not going anywhere right now. Let's continue to just bake it into Jackson Dart's brain. Hey, we like you're making plays, but let's not get a concussion over 1 extra yard and putting our head down. Let's slide. Like when the pocket collapses, it's okay to just go, whoa, it's over. I got to throw it away or go down here. They just got to teach him that a little bit. But as far as not making a move to get anybody, hey, they're not going anywhere. Wide receivers are growing on trees in the NFL draft right now. So just be patient, continue to grow him and preach the right message into his brain. And then they're going to have to address some of these things you're talking about that I'm with you with all the way there in the offseason.
But here's the interesting part, and I think this is the conundrum with the Giants.
Right.
You don't want to. Maybe Mara told them you're not making any deals because I don't know if you're part of the future. They're in this nebulous state.
I hope so. I don't want the Giants to leverage their future because Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll want to just save their job. So that's where I hope ownership is taking notes and being a part of this for the overall betterment of the football team. It's a little bit what I question, what we couldn't trade Kayvon Thibodeau. Why?
Right.
I don't know. Are we keeping him because we're trying to save Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll and Shane Bowen? Or do we really have a future plan here, which I find it hard to believe because I go, Kayvon Thibodeau is not going to be as good as Abdul Carter. He's not. And then, of course, we know Brian Burns is better already. So, I worry about those same things, Michael, all the way.
All right. Now, last week you said you're not that high on the Bills. Then the Bills kind of manhandle KC. Have you changed it all on them?
Well, the Bills are dangerous, that's for sure. I know that. Now, the Bills are, as I said to you last week, they're built to play against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
They really are. It's a matchup league, and they've built their team to stop Kansas City, who never really runs the ball, right? That's the kryptonite with Buffalo. If you can run the ball, it changes them totally. If you can't run the ball, McDermott is arguably the best pass game defensive coordinator in the sport, right? So you watch plays and I go, I don't know what coverage this is, but damn, he's got all his guys dropping exactly where Kansas City's trying to throw the ball. And Kansas City, as you saw in that game, right, didn't run the ball at all, became pass happy, and I think that played right into the Bills' hands. But I will say this, and maybe this is where I'm going to be wrong going forward. I mean, they're going to be in the mix. I know that because Josh Allen, first off, right? I mean, we're watching John Elway. I mean, this is one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. I hope everybody appreciates that. I know everybody needs to see him hold up a trophy to validate that. I don't need that. We're watching Elway, right, before he won the Super Bowl finally, or Dan Marino. We're watching an incredible, one of the greatest talents ever. So with him alone, he keeps them in it. But if they just continue to run the ball like they have since the bye week, that's where I go, okay, that'll help that defense out a little bit. And then you'll see Josh Allen go 23 of 26 every week, and that's where they're scary. So, like, listen, I hear you. I'm not high on the Buffalo Bills, but I understand there's a few avenues there that could shove it right up where the sun don't shine on myself there and my take on that.
Now, you said that you like the Bears against the Giants. How about the Jets and the Browns this week? And how does that play out? And is Myles Garrett going to be all over Justin Fields?
I'd expect him to. Yes, I do. I mean, the Browns defense, I have a man crush on the Browns defense. It's a special defense. It really is. If their offense was just a little bit better to where they didn't have to be on the field every fourth play of the game, right, they'd be the number one defense in the sport. Yes, I have. With first off, the Jets, this is what the other thing I take into account. Like, how are you feeling in the locker room this week, right? I think that's part of this. Like, the organization's given up on this year's version of the team. So the team feels that. So I expect them to be a little down, let alone maybe a little relaxed because, we finally won a game and all that. I'm taking Cleveland. I think Cleveland, having a new offensive play caller in Tommy Reese this week, I think he's going to have a few game plan tricks ready. And then, I don't trust the Jets offense against this Browns defense at all.
Do you have any idea why they took Shedeur Sanders? And I'm not one of these guys that's saying, you got to play him, because I didn't think that much of him in college. But why would you waste a draft pick when you've gotten terrible quarterbacking from Dylan Gabriel? They haven't even thought about going to Sanders. What's going on there?
No, it's a crazy thing. I think Dylan Gabriel, they like Dylan Gabriel obviously more from the start. And then if you talk to anybody that has any knowledge of that situation, Dylan Gabriel early in training camp, he really caught their eye. They were going to name him they were thinking about naming him the starter from the get-go. And then he got hurt in training camp. And that's what kind of disrupted their plans, right? But I know enough people there, that Shedeur Sanders is not impressed in practice and all that, and made the coaching staff feel comfortable that he knows every little intricate detail of the offense and he's doing those things. So he hasn't helped himself that way. And then he doesn't always help himself out with some of his actions and what he says into the microphone and everything along with that. But why Cleveland drafted him? Because they're the Cleveland Browns and they're stupid sometimes. That's the reason, Michael.
Well, all you did was create a distraction, Chris. That's what you did by taking him.
Exactly right. That's what happens when you follow numbers and your analytics department makes the call on everything you do. That's the problem. And you go, the analytics say we're getting a great value for a guy in round 5. Yeah, but how about the human aspect of it where it overtakes your locker room? And we went through training camp and we never talked about one thing on the football team. They got one of the best defensive players in the history of the world, and the defense is all we talked about is, are they screwing over Shedeur Sanders? Yes, it was a horrible move by them. It's a distraction for their team. It continues to be a distraction. And, that's where you got to have a little bit of pasta and meatballs and a gut and a brain to go, wait, this isn't going to be good for our football team.
Now, we have Paul Feinbaum on every Tuesday, and he said that Lane Kiffin would probably be very, very interested in reuniting with Jackson Dart. It doesn't look like Daboll's going to keep his job. Maybe they go off on a run. I'm not advocating for firing. I don't do stuff like that. Do you think that Kiffin would work when he didn't work in the NFL when he was younger?
I think I question it a little bit. I just feel like he's perfect for college football.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a personality that's great for young kids and recruiting and doing all that. His offense is really good, but am I sitting there going, oh, I'm blown away and I think it's going to take over the NFL? I'm not usually a huge fan of the college guy going to the NFL. It's a different game, as you know. I study college football and do the college football pregame, on NBC every week. College defenses, a good college defense runs like 3 defenses, and they're usually basic. It's a different world. The offense has to be, even though you might be creative for college, like a Chip Kelly, you see when he gets into the NFL and you go, this is some basic kindergarten stuff you run. Right. It ain't good enough for the NFL. Cliff Kingsbury, he went through, the head coach of the Cardinals. It was like everybody knew his offense by the 4th week of the season. They were like, okay, yep, he didn't add anything new. It's still that same college crap. So, yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of that thought or move altogether.
Who do you like tonight, Broncos, Raiders?
I'm Broncos, of course. I'm a believer in 30-17. Okay. I think this is Geno been loose with the football. This is a Broncos pick 6, set the offense up for a short field type of game. The Raiders' defense is respectable, but because of their bad offense and all that, usually the dam breaks there. And I think, the Denver Broncos are starting to feel themselves a little bit here.
Why has Geno taken such a step back? I don't think that Pete Carroll thought this was the Geno he was getting.
No, but I think where Pete Carroll messed up is he hired Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator, and I sit there and go, well, there's 3 runs on their running attack. They have 3 runs. That's all they do. And the passing attack is it's below average. And then you couple that with other than Brock Bowers, who is even remotely scary on that offense? And then I think Geno, who has got an aggressive nature at quarterback that I love, but I think, that in this where people aren't open, your receivers aren't that talented, I think he's had some moments of, I'm going to jumpstart us with a big play here, and that can get you into trouble. I like Geno's talent, but it's a little bit too much gunslinger this year.
Good stuff as always, Chris. I thank you so much for coming on, man.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the games, man.
You too. That's Chris Simms, and you can check out his podcast as well, which is extremely popular, and he has 3 of them throughout the week, so check that out, and he always joins us at 2 o'clock on a Thursday. Love talking to this guy. He breaks it down like you want it broken down, baby. That's what you want. We've got A-Rod coming up. Alex Emmanuel Rodriguez. Tonight, the debut of his 3-part documentary. That'll be on HBO Max. We'll talk to him about that and also the World Series that we just saw that got record ratings. So Alex Rodriguez joins us in just a moment right here on The K Show. We roll till 3 on ESPN New York.
Looking for the best internet deal? It's just a fast phone call away. Only Optimum Fiber Internet delivers the fastest and most reliable fiber internet starting at just $25 a month. That's right. Lightning fast fiber internet at a price that won't slow you down. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM today to lock in your offer in just a few minutes and see how you can also get the Disney Plus Hulu bundle and an unlimited mobile line on us. Don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Terms apply.
There he goes to the 20, 10, 5. That's a Jet touchdown. That's a Jet touchdown.
Jets fans, be there at MetLife Stadium to see the New York Jets take on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, November 9th at 1 p.m., presented by Verizon. Don't miss your chance to experience the excitement of game day at MetLife Stadium and cheer on your Jets. Lock in your seats at nyjets.com/tickets and get ready to clear the runway.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Knicks have now won 3 straight and remain perfect at MSG.
Taken by McBride into the front court. Hart to the basket. A two-handed flush for Josh Hart. 119.99.
Are we starting to see their potential in Mike Brown's system?
I think we're growing. We're learning. Obviously, playing at home is a big factor.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
You're standing inside a secret prison. It houses the Nazi high command.
I'm going to put Hermann Goering on trial.
Sony Pictures Classics presents Nuremberg, starring Academy Award winner Russell Crowe, Academy Award winner Rami Malek, and Academy Award nominee Michael Shannon.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Nichts schuldig.
Order! Order!
Nuremberg opens only in theaters everywhere November 7th.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. It's a beautiful day out. A little chilly, but you know what? It's November. It's supposed to be a little chilly. Waiting on Alex Rodriguez. We'll get him in just a moment about his new documentary tonight, which debuts on HBO Max. And while we're tending to getting Alex, we'll go to the phones. Let's go to Caleb in North Carolina. Caleb.
Howdy. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Caleb?
I'm doing good.
What's up?
So I just have a couple of questions for you.
Go for it.
So, one, how would you approach the Yankees offseason going into 2026? Would you prefer a Kyle Schwarber, or would you want to go after Kyle Tucker, or how would you improve the pitching, sort of things like that?
Well, Schwarber doesn't fit, Caleb. I mean, you've got Stanton for 2 more years. Doesn't make sense to pick up a DH type. I would make a run at Tucker. I think Tucker's a tremendous talent. I would also go for a pitcher because you're not going to have Cole at the beginning. You're not going to have Rodon at the beginning. You're not going to have Schmidt for at least the first 4.5 months. So, yeah, they're going to need a starter to throw in there as well to eat up some of those innings. But in terms of Schwarber, that it just doesn't fit the Yankees. As long as Stanton's there, Schwarber's really not a defender anymore. Never has been a great defender. So, no, I wouldn't go that route at all. Let's bring in Alex Rodriguez. His documentary debuts tonight on HBO Max. It's a 3-part documentary. I was at the premiere the other night, the first one, and it is raw, it is honest, it is real, and I think you're going to find out a lot about what Alex Rodriguez is about. And maybe we can even further that right now as he joins us on the show. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, Michael, and thank you for hosting that panel the other day. My family was thrilled with it, and you were great.
Well, thank you for having me. I just want to start off with this. Having watched that first episode, you've kind of cut yourself open. I mean, you've gone through this, and now you're going through it again. So my question is, why would you put yourself through this again, Alex?
You know, after watching it, I'm asking myself the same question, Michael. That's for sure. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster going back to those days. But look, like any big mistakes, with all the reflection I've done, all the therapy that I've done, I think it's important to remind people of those mistakes and not forget them. It's important for the young people, the next generation, that they understand that I made the mistakes that I made, and hopefully they can learn from some of them and avoid some of the headaches that I put myself through. And the same thing I talk to my daughters all the time.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because, people don't see you with your daughters. And, doing K-Rod, I saw you, and it's such a great relationship between a father and these two young ladies. And is this kind of like almost like a testament to them to show them this is what Dad did? I screwed up a lot. Let's not do this, because it's right there on the screen for them to see, and they're both adults now, so they can really digest this.
Yeah, as you know, Michael, we've talked about this in the past. I've had people talk to me about a book or a documentary the last 15 years, to be quite honest, and it was always a quick no. And when they started again about 5 years ago, I just thought I still had a lot of work to do, and I hadn't reflected enough to put a story together that I felt good about. And thirdly, I would not do a project like this with my girls being so young or early teenage years. And it was important for me to talk to them, to talk to Cynthia, my ex-wife, my mother of my daughters, and also Jack, my partner. And we all signed in together. We both worked on it together. And my girls said, if we're going to do this, let's do it right, let's do it raw, and let's be as real as possible. Because, as you know, Michael, the market is also too savvy, and they're not going to go for any BS, and I wouldn't put up any BS.
One of the person that in the documentary that doesn't BS anybody is your ex-wife Cynthia, and you have a very fascinating life to me. Most people get divorced and they hate each other, and you two seem like you have the greatest relationship, and for her to agree to do this and really open herself up as well, that was pretty impressive, Alex.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. And look, she has her master's in psychology, something that she has enjoyed practicing, but I don't think she enjoyed practicing it with us and with her being such a big part of it. But we've all learned from it. In many ways, Michael, the fact that I caused myself the Hall of Fame, that part is on me. But the fact that I was able to learn those lessons, go into intensive therapy, work on the rewiring of the brain, the back nine of my life, if I was a Hall of Fame, I never got into that trouble, I would be unhappy, still under a lot of pain, and I would be a Hall of Famer. But it would be quite hollow. Mm-hmm. Today, I don't have the Hall of Fame. I have a wonderful relationship with my daughters. I'm involved with the Timberwolves and the Lynx, and I have a really good life that is full of gratitude and giving back.
So after this thing is completed now, and you were watching it there with all of us earlier this week, did you learn anything about yourself as you listened to people talk about you? I know it was very emotional for you to see Lou Piniella actually say the things that he was saying. I know he was a father figure to you as well. Did you learn anything after this thing was all put together and then finally you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, how dumb and dumber I am to put all that on a big screen. For real, it was... in all honesty, it was very, very touching. I mean, there was 3 or 4 spots that I almost broke down, especially when you see someone, the Lou Piniella, that was so good to me. And was my original professor, and I don't think people fully appreciate a few things. Number one, from age 15 to 25, I had two managers. My high school manager, Westminster Christian, was Rich Hoffman. And for those 6 or 7 years in Seattle, I felt like it was Westminster University. It was just an extension of Coach Hoffman. And I was very protected. There was one line that I loved that Lou Piniella said in episode 1 that the fans will be able to see tonight, is that he said, if Alex stuck with us for 2 or 3 more years, I would have protected him, and he would have been under our bubble. And I believe that to be true. But, story is a story and history is history.
All right, so it starts tonight on HBO, and I think one each week, and it's a 3-episode arc, and I hope it's well received for you, Alex. I hope you're happy with the way it came out.
Me too. Thank you, Michael.
All right, so you were a big part of Fox's coverage of the World Series. I loved it. I mean, it was such a great World Series. And before we get into some specifics on the World Series, a lot of people that are listening right now are Yankee fans, and you follow the Yankees very closely. How far away do you think the Yankees are from the Dodgers, from the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I mean, I heard your piece yesterday with Mike Lupica, and Michael was exactly accurate when he said the Dodgers just don't beat themselves. They don't make mental mistakes. They make very few physical mistakes, but they remind me of the late 90s New York Yankees. I mean, they got outplayed in every category, and somehow the LA Dodgers are world champions again. And that's a trick from the old school Yankees. But what do they do well? They do so much well. And I think the gap, even though I've heard you say, Michael, that 94 wins for the Jays, 94 for the Yankees, I think that's one of the most misleading stats you can read, because the gap is quite far. And, what the Yankees lack is continuity. If you look at the Dodgers, you look at Freddie, Mookie, Will Smith, Muncy, Kike Hernandez, Clayton Kershaw. They've been there for 5, 6, 7 years together now. And if you look at our team, what the Yankees, I believe, need to do, and look, there's no bigger fan than me, so I'm a Yankee boy, but I wish I could say all great things. I think Jeter, I wish that Jeter and I, during the Fox series, we could cover nothing but, great things about the Yankees. But the truth is there's some things that are lacking, and continuity is one of them. In 2004, we had the heartbreak with the Red Sox. It took a full 5 years to come back and win in 2009. But in 2009, we still had exactly the same core. If you look at a guy like Aaron Judge, who's entering at age 34, there's concerns that the window's closing on one of the great all-time players. But in the last 3 years alone, Aaron Judge has had 39 different leadoff hitters and 45 cleanup hitters. I had one leadoff hitter, and I had basically 1 or 2 cleanup hitters. So one leadoff, which was either a combination of Damon and Jeter, and I had Matsui pretty much my entire career behind me. In the last 5, I had Teixeira. So it was the epitome of continuity that we had created there. And the last 27 championships, the 27 championships with the Yankees, the one thing they've had is continuity. There's probably Aaron Judge is the only starter, if you go back 5 years in the roster. That is remarkable, and is the anti-Yankee way. I just hope, and I believe, that Cashman and company will get it right.
But is it hard to keep a team together that's not reaching the ultimate goal, though? Don't you have to change things up?
Imagine if we would have broken it up in 2005. We don't get 2009, right? Mm-hmm. So part of it is you have to pick the right – look, the Dodgers get a lot of grief because they have now become the New York Yankees, the best and the baddest. And they've become now the evil empire that everybody's chasing. And I saw it where it was the Dodgers against the world. Everybody was going for the Blue Jays unless you were a Dodger fan. And that was pretty cool to see. But they have tremendous resources. The first team that's ever gone over $1 billion. There's only 2 teams in sports, Michael, that have gone over $1 billion in gross revenue. The Dodgers and the Cowboys, class of 2. And that's pretty impressive. But they not only get the resources, they deploy the capital and those resources in the right places. And if you look at that team, the part of the reason why we love that World Series so much is we knew all the characters. We knew the storylines. We knew the strategies. Dave Roberts pitched. I mean, he cemented himself as a Hall of Fame manager. And John Snyder, boy, this guy's going to be but he had a tremendous series as well.
Do you think we're talking with Alex Rodriguez, his documentary premieres tonight on HBO Max. Do you think it's good for baseball, though, to have a team that, has repeated and has a payroll so much higher than even the Mets and the Yankees? Is that good for baseball?
I mean, I would be, as a Yankee and someone who loves the Yankees more than anyone, I would be the total hypocrite to say, wait a minute, somebody's too rich. I mean, we're the New York Yankees. We are supposed to be the biggest, the best, and the baddest. And I laugh, and I know I share this comment with you, Michael, is that when you look at some of the bad mouthing that a guy like Hal Steinbrenner gets, I think is highly unfair, the criticism, because here's a guy that's spending over $350 million a year, and when you include luxury tax and everything else, he's doing his part to be a world champion. Now, we got to take those resources and deploy them in a way that in 5 years, Michael, I hope that we have more than Aaron Judge as the only starter left, because if it's not, then that means your other 8 selections weren't that good.
Let me ask you a specific... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it just can't be Judge and nobody else, and then you're going to just, merry-go-round.
Let me ask you a specific question about Game 7, which could have ended on this play, and it's received a lot of analysis. And I know you study the game like, a PhD. IKF. There's video that's come out of Carlos Febres, the third base coach, drawing a line and telling him exactly where to lead. And now people are saying he didn't lead enough. What went wrong there? What was wrong with that play, if anything?
Well, there's a lot went wrong with that play. So there's a few things to correct here. So I've heard a lot of people say you go as far as a third baseman goes, meaning your lead should, if the third baseman is 7 feet away, you should be 7 feet away. That's highly inaccurate. Because think about this, Michael. If he was on the bag like he is at first base, then you wouldn't be sitting on top of the bag, right? And at the same time, if he's playing like closer to shortstop with a left-handed hitter, you shouldn't be halfway home because that. So you have to get a primary lead and then a secondary lead. The primary lead is not as important. What is, but you should be far enough where you feel that where you land with your secondary lead, you're going to be able to walk home. So that's the first part. So I don't think he was far enough, and I thought the secondary lead was awful because that part he could have been a lot more aggressive on his step up and leaning forward, and that's definitely breaking at the point of contact. Now let's talk about the play, contact play. There's 2 plays there. One is a more conservative one where you let the ball go through, meaning a line drive. The real intention of that play is called contact, which means by the time you see the batter starting to swing, your momentum's moving forward. As soon as you hear contact, you're flying home. And if there's a line drive, oh, well, the Dodgers win the World Series. But the minute that ball is, even that you have an ounce of an idea that you're going to put that ball in play, you're flying home. And that play is made exactly for what Rojas did. If he hesitates, he's dead. There's no way that he hesitates, almost falls down, recovers, and still gets you out by, 4 or 5 inches, or maybe 2 inches. So that was the problem with that cat. The secondary was not aggressive enough, and he did not jump on the point of contact as he should have.
All right, 2 follow-ups. So you believe that they were spooked by the play that ended the previous game with Barger being double off a second. That's why they didn't want to, doubling up was so much in their mind.
Well, one is a misdemeanor, the other one's a felony, right? The Kike play, he was flying in. It was very an unusual play. Mm-hmm. But this one is made for that play. If Rojas gets a perfect ground ball and you get him out, you're fine with that. But the fact that he almost fell over, you have to be able to go far enough that once the ground ball is made, you win the game, World Series, game, set, match.
All right, and the second thing, should he have gone in standing up? Because slowing down, when you're sliding, friction is going to slow you down. Should he have gone in standing up?
No, the reason why you want to slide, and I usually like sliding head first now, Michael, because now you have the rule that you cannot block the plate. So the idea that you're going to get hurt, that's out the window. The reason why I like going in head first, because if a throw is a little bit offline and it throws him off to the third baseline and you're standing up, he can easily grab it and grab your shoulder like you're making it easy, like a first baseman would, tag a base runner. In this case, it was a perfect throw, so you might be a little bit slower, but with your hand, you can actually maneuver where you can catch, where you can grab the plate.
And that's something that people didn't bring up, Alex. By sliding feet first, your feet come up. If you slide head first to home plate, your hands stay down, and you probably reach the bag sooner.
Yeah, and that's why with your momentum, you always talk about, someone sprinting in the Olympics, they don't dive. If they were to dive, they wouldn't dive feet first because that actually slows you down. But Ricky Henderson showed us all that you can kind of accelerate through your slide, and it gives you more optionality. Plus, you're no longer a target if the catcher's offline to easily grab your shoulder, tag your shoulder.
Have you ever seen anything like Ohtani in your life, and you think you ever will again?
No and no. I mean, I said this on the air. I mean, the best hitter I've ever seen in my life, by far, head and shoulders, Barry Bonds. The best pitcher I've ever seen in my life, by far, is Roger Clemens. The best base runner I've ever seen, by far, is Ricky Henderson. And somehow the 6'4" Japanese stallion is all three of them.
It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Good luck with the documentary, Alex. Great that you joined me today, and I hope the 3 episodes are very well received.
Thank you.
All right,
see you, Michael.
Good. That's Alex Rodriguez tonight on HBO Max. Hey, every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, that's today, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/K for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus, physically present in New York, opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Clinton Yates here. The holidays are upon us, and so are the savings at Total Wine & More. Discover thousands of wines, spirits, and beers like my favorite, IPAs, perfect for every celebration and every budget. From bold reds to sparklers, you'll find the perfect wines to raise a glass this season. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Curbside pickup and delivery available in most areas. See TotalWine.com for details. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
So the Padres have hired a new manager, and that's Craig Stammen. He is 42 years old. This is his first job, and that leaves the Rockies job open. That's the last one that I could think of that's still open. So a lot of these were filled by first-time guys, one by a college guy, one by a 33-year-old. Now Stammen, a 42-year-old. A lot of young managers taking over, and we'll see how that works out. 1-800-919-3776. We talked about Jackson Dart and the lack of support around him right now with the injuries. And Dart was asked, are you worried about getting injured?
I never want to come out of the game. If I'm up or down, I played in my bowl game last year, and we were up by like 30 points. And, I'm telling the coach, there's no way I'm coming out. I'll stay on the field even if you try to sub me out. So, I think just as competitors, you're not going to be an easy out in those situations. And you feel like you can get back in the game because if you've paid attention to the NFL, you can look at our Broncos game, you could watch the Bears and Cincinnati game. Even with what looks like a little time left, you're always still kind of in the game. So, how I see it is you play it through 0-0.
Now, Daboll was asked, are you worried about Dart getting injured?
We'll just keep developing Jackson. Jackson's a competitor. We'll do the things we think we need to do. You never want anybody to get hurt. Opportunity every time you step on the field to do that. So some of it is scrambling, a couple runs that we had on the outside, but we'll just keep working with him and do what we think we need to do.
Now, I know that was a lot of gobbledygook, but the one thing that he said, football is, people get hurt in football. And you can't put people in bubble wrap. You can't wrap them in saran wrap. They are going to get hurt. If it's their time, they're going to get hurt. Let's go to Andrew in Medford. Andrew.
Hello?
Hello, Andrew.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I want to talk about the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And in my view, the Giants need an experienced coach with a winning background that's going to get the respect from the players. And right now, the head coach, you got to get one that's not going to tolerate this, The Giants have a accountability problem, and honestly, I don't think Daboll's the guy, I mean, you got to get a leader in there who's going to get the respect in the room,
But how do you know he doesn't have respect? How do you know he doesn't have respect?
Their egos and stuff.
Honestly,
there's not much to choose from out there this year, but Mike McCarthy, he does come to mind now because he's an experienced coach. He won a Super Bowl. He played for two highly pressured organizations, with the Packers, 125, 77-2 in 13 seasons, and 49-35 with the Cowboys. Now, he's got flaws like everyone does in his area of game management, but he also can establish culture, he manages egos, and he develops quarterbacks. Those are three really important parts of the job. You think the Giants can use someone like him?
Well, but I'm asking you, how do you know that Daboll doesn't have respect?
Well, I get it. Well, because look what's going on right now.
But
the defense.
Well, I mean, but okay, so maybe the schemes aren't right. Maybe they're not doing the right things at the right time. Maybe he's not a good head coach, but I would fight you on the fact that he doesn't have respect. It seems like the quarterback absolutely reveres him. I think they play hard for him, but, when you throw out they don't have respect, I never, ever want to take that leap where I'm going to tell you what goes on behind closed doors unless I know what goes on behind closed doors. I'm not going to put that and pin that on the guy. And if I'm going to move on from Brian Daboll, I don't think I'm going to Mike McCarthy. I just don't. When you look at the Green Bay teams that he coached, should they have won one more Super Bowl, two more Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers? Should they have? And the Cowboys didn't do much of anything with Mike McCarthy, despite a very talented team. I don't think that's the route I'd take. I think I'd try another young guy who's well respected, and that's a dangerous thing. The Jets are doing it, but I wouldn't hire a defensive guy like Glenn. I'd hire an offensive-minded coach. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Tomorrow, we're back again at 1 o'clock, and that's when we make our two-pack for sure picks. Last week, I was 1-1, but still having a pretty good season, and I'll give you those picks tomorrow. A lot of stuff to talk about as well. 1-800-919-3776 if you want to talk to Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg in just a moment. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Hey, bro. Weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights.